Hi, how do you feel now that you've made it through menopause? Probably very glad. But it's not all rosy now. Some of those symptoms that you felt, like the hot flashes, can keep going on for years. And while it's great that we no longer have our periods, there is some negatives with that. We had our periods because of two main hormones, estrogen and progesterone. And it's the estrogen that we're mostly concerned with now because that did far more than enhance our reproductive ability. Okay, what it does is for us is if we had an injury, it would aid in the healing and speed up that healing. And so when you're younger, a lot of your injuries get better by themselves without very much help from a therapist or no help at all. Okay, so you're going to find that it's a lot harder to self heal now, and you should be going off, if you injure yourself, to a physio, chiropractor, osteo, someone that you trust. Okay, so estrogen was a major healing hormone. Estrogen also played a huge part in us being able to get strong. So, as we came up to 50, you probably didn't notice that actually you were getting a bit weaker. But since 25, where we're at our peak, we have, men and women, been aging in our muscles and our bodies. So, we've been getting weaker between 3 and 8% per decade. And so, 30 years on, by the time you're 60, okay, you're significantly weaker than you were at 30. Significantly, like 30% nearly if you were sedentary, because trapped in a sedentary job, or just not into exercise, or less if you're into exercise. Okay, so two things: a healing property with the estrogen and a getting strong property with an estrogen. Now that particular estrogen is gone. You no longer have it. You no longer have your progesterone either. And so your body is very, very different. Hi, this exercise is very functional. It's about improving your lifestyle immediately. Your strength will come up really, really quickly. And do you know what? You'll stop looking so old. So off we go. What I want you to do is find a really sturdy chair and sit at the front of it and do a test. First thing you're going to do is, how do you normally get up? Do you use the arms of a chair or do you use your hands on your knees? Now that's fine if you've got an injury or arthritis. It's absolutely fine, but the rest of it you want to do right. So here's your test. When you come up, can you come up like that? Do you lean way forward as you go down? Do you lean way forward as you come up? Or as you go down, do you plop? Okay? The next stage from plopping is actually just simply falling. Okay? And there's a little noise that we tend to make if we're struggling. It's okay? So you don't want the noise either. Alright? The way to sit to stand properly, and I'm going to do it from the front to start with, whether you're using your hands or not, so I'm going to use the arms of the chair to show you it's still possible, is draw your feet back, and then you're using a thing called ground force. So instead of hauling yourself up, what you're going to do is push your feet really firmly into the ground. So you lean forward a little bit, okay, then you push really firmly, and the rest comes from your buttocks. So then you squeeze your buttocks as hard as you can. It's a hip thrust, okay? So you lean forward, squeeze your buttocks. And you see I'm not coming forward further than my toes, further than my knees, and up I come. So this is the start of the exercise. Sit towards the front, nice wide base of support, nice feet spread out, and then you come forward a little bit, and you can still push on your arms if you need to, and then we're going to progress it. So then you'd go one arm, and try the other arm, and work at that until you can do, don't use these to bring you too far forward, but until you can do it with no arms. And that's working on the up part. Now we need to work on the back part, the plop. All right, so you do the best you can at coming up, and you can still use your hands, but you're going to come down really slowly. Use your hands to slow you down if you need. Up we come. and down really slowly. Now there's a very important part of this. To help protect your knees, you don't want to bring them in like your knock-kneed. You want to be pulling them outwards. Okay, so keep pulling them outwards and then just progress to one hand. Keeping getting that squeeze, and that squeeze is so hard in your buttocks that you could hold a $100 note. And slow it right down. So you're just going to start at the level you are for working out. Have a go at this one. Here, really squeeze. So I am thrusting my hips forward, my feet into the ground and coming down really slowly. And then, of course, the final progression would be from sitting back, from sitting in a lower chair, from sitting in a softer chair. Okay, so doing the whole thing again, but I'm just going to do that. You see how I'm sticking my butt right back. No old lady here. So where you want to do this is every time you sit to stand, have a go at doing it. So make it a part of your every day. So particularly if you've got a sedentary job, it's ideal, okay? Then you can do it getting in and out of the car, and harder if you're parked on a hill, but give that a go. Turn, put your feet on the ground, and then thrust to get on up. We all know how old we feel when we get up really clumsily out of the car. And then do it getting up and down from your bed. Okay, so beds are usually got a bit more give in them. They're usually a little bit lower. Okay, if you find that it's hurting your knees, then raise your seat up a little bit, a couple of cushions, and just work there until these muscles are taking over, and therefore these are not going to be as sore. So the stronger you can get your glutes, your buttocks, the better for your knees. I think that's about it. The other thing is, then make an exercise session out of it. All right, particularly if you're finding yourself forgetting. So you want to do at least 10 a day, if not 20 a day. All right, and remember I've got that follow along video for you, and we're going to do 20 of them, but work your way up to doing that 20 if you need to. If you've clicked on this video, I'm betting that you actually are worried about your body and your health. And if you are in the position of being weaker than you should be worried actually. Okay, muscle strength has been linked. A decrease in muscle strength has been linked to the Four Horsemen. The Four Horsemen are dementia, type 2 diabetes, obesity, and heart disease. And these are the killers of women in particular at a great rate, okay? So you need to start now really taking your body seriously and get stronger. But how do you do that? Particularly if you've never really been into exercise, or if the exercise you were doing, like CrossFit or boxing, no longer actually works for you because you're finding that you're getting injured, okay? Or maybe just can't keep up or not getting the results that you used to. Well, you're going to get my top 3 exercises here. They're full body exercises, and no, planking and push-ups aren't one of them. They are exercises that you can do at home with very little equipment or just out in your neighborhood, okay? So I would really like you to think about the value that these exercises will do for you. So what do you want your next 10 years to look like? And what do you want your last 10 years to look like? So this brings up a concept called health span. So we know our lifespan is from 0 when we're born to the age when we die. That's our lifespan. Now your health span is how healthy are you through that. Okay, so can you even imagine the last 10 years of your life still being strong and independent and being able to do pretty much what you want to do? So that weakness that we all get comes down. You're starting to get weaker. It's almost imperceptible until you have an injury that stops you in your tracks. Okay, then you really feel it coming on. But you want to do something that will start evening up the scales and maybe even pushing it. So definitely there's lots of evidence that both men and women in their much later years, in their elderly senior years, can get stronger and maintain that strength. So think about that last 10 years and how you want it to be, and make it really important that from now till the end of your lifespan, that your health span is as good as it can be. Exercise is the number one thing, not weight loss. Okay, not even cardio, or that, though that plays a big part, but it's the exercise that strengthens you. It's your muscle strength that plays the biggest part. The idea with this one is that you get better at getting up and down off the ground. It gets a lot easier, and you start to become more youthful looking. More youthful that you look, the stronger you actually are. Okay, so that's the key. When you lose your breath doing it, then you need to keep going. If you gasp at the end or grunt at the end, then just keep working until it's stronger. All right, so I'm going to show you. This is a very functional exercise. You're going to get stronger as you do something that's absolutely necessary in your life, particularly if you have grandkids, particularly if you garden, particularly if you live alone actually, and it's get up, get down. So I'm going to show you the full version, and then I'll show you how to progress it. And this is the Pilates cat Stormy. He's just decided to join us. It's going to hold my chair nice and still for me. So use a chair or the back of a couch, but make it, or a coffee table, but make it really, really stable if you need it, okay? So I'll show you the progressions. I'm going to go down through one leg, and I'm just going to hold on here so that I don't plop down. I go gently on my knee. Then both knees, and then I'm going to tip my feet to the side, use a hand to come down, and this is called side sitting. Then I'm going to reverse that move. Now, if you've got a bung leg, it's fine, you can still do it. Just use more support and maybe some padding under those knees when you go down. And maybe you're just going to do it one-sided, so let me show you the other side. Okay, down I go, twist. Now I said I'd show you the full exercise and actually I didn't. So we're just going through the progressions. So the next thing would be to do one leg down, side sit. It doesn't matter which way your knees go, as long as you're alternating them if you can. And the full exercise is to lie flat down and then to get up with as little arm use as possible. As little arm movement you need. See, I've moved my feet to the other side. Lying down, sitting up, there's no arms, all right? Now the way to work from getting here up and down is to use ground force. So you're going to push really strongly down through this foot, lean forward just a little bit, not way forward, just a little bit. If you have to lean way forward, then you're going to need arm support, but lean a little bit and push down, and you're squeezing those buttocks. Then the way to get down is just really slowly. See, I've tucked my toes at the back and nice and gently. Before I show you the third exercise, I'd like you to do me a favor and like this video if you found it useful, and subscribe if you want to see more like this. This exercise is really my favorite of all time. If you come to the studio, you'll be very familiar with it. It takes a bit to get the form right. So by that I mean do it properly with all the right muscles, but if you follow along with this, you'll get it right, okay? So let's get going. It's called the plane, and you want something really nice and stable like your kitchen bench or your table or the back of your couch to hold on to, because first of all we're going to not include balance. So you're going to stand up nice and tall. Pull your tummy as flat as you can and hold it flat without holding your breath. And then your hand is just beside you here like this, and your shoulder blades are pulling back. So don't be rounded, be nice and tall. You take your left leg, keep your hand here, it's back like that, and then you're just going to seesaw and see if you can stay nice and straight. And what you're going to feel is a massive stretch right up through this leg. Your foot's going to be working hard. Don't screw your toes up, but keep that foot working hard. And you want to work your buttocks. Okay? And then you're pulling your shoulder blades towards each other, because this is another problem. This is a problem here. You do not have to have this knee straight, particularly at the start, okay? And remember, you're not going for balance at this stage. So let's do it again. You're up nice and tall, shoulder blades pinned, hand beside hip, take that leg back, and then seesaw and see if you can get level with the ground. Now this is another issue. See if you can look at your toe and see if you can hold it. Then you're bringing yourself back and tapping down and doing it again. Keep seesawing. Don't let your body go down faster than your leg comes up. So if you only manage to here, that's better than doing this kind of thing. Okay, and then down. You'll find that by repeating this, you'll get faster, you'll get better really quickly. And you don't want to speed it up. It's just out and here and back and here and back. And so what you're doing, this is why I like it so much, is you're stretching your supporting leg and strengthening your supporting leg all at the same time, right from your foot through your knee, through your hip, and then you're working your back muscles, all of your back muscles, and then all of those leg muscles to lift that leg. It's a multiple exercise. Then you're going to add balance, which we really need to work on as we get older. So I'm going to keep this here, but I'm not going to use it, and my hands are going to be both beside like this. So it's there if I need it. Set myself up, squeeze my shoulder blades, pull my tummy flat, tuck my chin in, and off we go. Chin tucked in. It's really easy to have that chin pushing out. Now give this a go. See if you can do it. Now I'm going to show you. Usually if we weaken our buttocks, we'll be twisting at the hip. Alright, so you want to keep that hip nice and level. And see if you can do it. And come on back. And rest. And now you're going to do the other side. So let's see if there's any difference between my sides. First of all, holding on, I'm going to do a couple there and then it's straight into a couple without that support. Nice long body, tummy in, reaching out. Now really working, this is why my hand is here, at keeping that hip not twisted, keeping it nice and flat. And the reason we twist it is we're just trying so hard that we tend to use the muscles that already are strong, and therefore we're not going to get the muscles that are weak. Letting go. And back. So you can see that those top three take very little time in your day. But what's really important is that you become consistent, because change only happens with consistency. So at the very least, you need to be doing it twice a week. Ideally, you'd be doing it 3 times a week. You actually don't need to do it more than that, but if you like them, you can do it more. All right? So down below, I have put the link to a follow-along version. So if you wanted to do them all in one go, it doesn't take very much time. You can put on my video and follow along with me. But just remember to do them at your ability, not the ability I'll be showing you. Remember to go back and watch the how-to videos if you need to, because you need to start with the body that you've got. You don't want to exacerbate any injuries that you might have. It's got to be all pain-free. Pain these days is not something to be pushed through. It's something to respect and be got rid of by treatment and moving correctly, and just moving, really.